And now starting lineups beginning with the Amarillo Sandies. A 5'9" guard, number 2, Corey Nickerson Jr. 6-foot guard, number 3, Zay Landry Britton. 6'4" guard, number 15, Brendan Hassan. 7-foot post, number 21, Cade Hornecker. And a 6'6" wing, number 22, Damon Woods. Sandies are coached by head coach Jason Hillian, assisted by Benji Hassan, Jacob Dawson, Ron Watkins. And now starting lineups for the Golden Hurricane of Jonesboro. 5'11" guard, number 1, Amarian Wilson. 6'4" forward, number 5, Devarius Montgomery. 5'11" guard, number 11, Philip Tillman. 6'11", forward, number 12, Isaac Carroll. 6'1" guard, number 21, Jesse Washington. Golden Hurricanes are coached by head coach Wes Swift, assisted by Kenton Weaver and Sammy Lewis. Official score for today's game is Will Grubbs, clock operator Mike Gross. Game officials Randy Ramsauer, Troy Baker, and Jeff Fancher.
Good evening and welcome to Viking Hall on the campus of Bristol, Tennessee High School. We are at the 38th annual Arby's Classic. Got an intriguing matchup here in our third game of the evening between the Amarillo Sandies and the Jonesboro Golden Hurricane. We got Amarillo from Texas and Jonesboro from Arkansas. We're underway. Ramons Woods takes control, kicks it over to Corey Nickerson, and we are underway with the Sandies in the half court. A team that both Coach Tiller and I had the opportunity to watch yesterday. We came away really impressed with them. Three-headed monster with Woods, Hornecker, and Housen, who we saw a lot of really good half-court execution between these guys. This is continuing right here. How many passes have they thrown already? Right away, of course, to make that comment and throw the ball out of bounds. But
talk about that announcer's jinx, Coach.
There it was, right there in the first 29 seconds of the ball game. But I would suspect that we'll see that again this evening. Really good execution by that bunch yesterday. This is my first experience with the Jonesboro folks, so I'll have to rely on Coach Tiller there. I did not get to see them play that first game, but they look like a really athletic crew. That's for sure.
They are. They absolutely are. Played a really tough game in that first round, and looking forward to seeing them.
Excellent.
Seeing if they're a little sharper tonight.
Tillman knocks one down from the corner right there. Good inside-out action there from the Hurricane. Turnover. Pushed up. Takes strong right there. Nice move by Isaac Harrell. So, again, transition style.
Yes.
Really want to push the pace. They got guys all over the place that look like they can handle the rock. Not a particularly big team. Harrell's, I think, listed at 6'7", but he looks like he's more guard-oriented than anything else.
Yeah, he shoots it pretty well on the perimeter. Now, he did finish some balls around the basket yesterday, but as there's Housen with that good-looking stroke, but comes up off the mark.
Villanova recruit. I was really impressed with him yesterday in terms of his overall, not only just understanding the game, but how kind of cool he was through the process. Harrell got a good look at that one, couldn't knock it down. Here comes Nickerson into the front court. Over to Housen. Down to Zay Landry Britton. Woods to the top. Good ball movement here on this possession. Goes Woods, backing in, kicks out to Housen. He's got a good look at it right there from the corner. There it is. So that's his game. I would expect to see him maybe a little bit more aggressive today than he was yesterday. Not that he kind of let the game come to him yesterday, but by the time we got to the fourth quarter, the ball was in his hands in just about every possession, and he was making decisions on where the ball ended up going. He did a good job of getting his teammates involved as well. Long three from Washington, bounced off the back of the rim. Here's Housen again. He's going to lean into one from long distance.
Mercy.
That's where we start to see the Villanova.
That's that separator right there.
that was he had that one lined up from the beginning. Step just inside the power tee right there and knocked it down. From
you know, that's a kid that's grown up watching Steph Curry right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, the fundamentals were right on. Had his
oh,
knees
now
bent.
we got a little disagreement by the officials. We had one call a charge, one call a block. It looks like the block is going to win out.
Yep. Foul there on St. Andrew Britton. So, again, that type of shot is not something that necessarily see on every possession, but I just love the fact, as an old shooter myself, I love the shot preparation there. Had his knees bent, understood where he was on the floor, and he leaned into that shot because he knew he needed a little extra oomph to get it there. But, man, he hit it dead square. Excellent look. So back-to-back threes by Howson. Look forward to see what he's going to do the rest of this ball game. So Jonesboro knocks in a pair there, takes the lead, 7-6. Again, execution, the name of the game here in the half court for Amarillo. They didn't see them a lot in transition in that first game. They're very controlled, disciplined team. Had a couple of turnovers uncharacteristically here at the beginning. I think that step up in competition here in terms of
I mean they're going to face a little bit more pressure than Westridge was able to put on them yesterday.
Agreed.
I mean, nothing against the Wolves, but it's just they're not nearly as athletic as Jonesboro.
Yeah. Schoenherker with the back down.
Yep, he's going to call for steps.
Switch the pivot foot on it right there. Good defense there.
Yeah, Jonesboro, the Golden Hurricane. Apparently, they're a collective hurricane, like your King Tornado.
Yeah, we're just one big happy family.
One big storm.
Absolutely. So, good defense there by Devarius Montgomery. Did a good job of keeping Hornicker in front of him, and caused him to take a couple of steps there. So, countering this, Hornicker comes out of the game. We got a smaller lineup in for Amarillo, trying to match these guards from Jonesboro. Nice little step back there.
Ooh.
Nicely done by American Wilson, creating some separation.
He had a really good day yesterday. He was really kind of their standout player yesterday. You know, the guy who's kind of listed first on the in the media guide and whatnot.
Good defense there. Yeah, that's nice. Nice anticipation there by Nickerson. Good finish of that.
Yeah, is Washington number 21 for Jonesboro. He's kind of the guy that you come in thinking he's your go-to guy. Yesterday he ended up getting his numbers and played really well late, but it was Wilson who was kind of the go-to guy for most of the game.
Well, I could definitely see how that could be the case, because that's a smooth move right there. And again, he was going up against a 6'7" or 6'8" guy that was going to deny his ability to get to the rim. But just that little bit of a step back was enough to create that space that he was able to knock that down. That step back shot has become such a big part of the game.
Yes.
Especially from as players have become more athletic and attuned to the ideas of what you're going to need to do defensively to keep guys out of the lane, especially. That step back has become a very kind of a go-to move.
Yeah, it's something you see more and more kids working on. Some who really need to work on just making a regular jump shot, but you definitely, it's become a much more prevalent thing. I mean, you look at guys like James Harden and so forth who have, and I don't know what we're going to have right here. I
didn't see a call of any type.
I'm really not sure what.
Somebody's.
I mean, it looks like
out of bounds. Maybe stepped out of bounds.
I don't know,
because there wasn't a foul call.
No.
Violation of some type. Oh, a 3-second call.
3-second call.
Got it.
The call that I hate. Okay.
Just that. Yeah, that one. Right. So.
He went back court. He went back court.
Okay, well that's one explanation for it.
I mean, he was right on the Tennessee, so I could see why the referee might not have seen it, but he most definitely stepped back court right there.
Wilson is quick, but maybe not that quick.
Yeah.
No, he steps back and makes a nice, almost a carbon copy of that first one that he made. So Jonesboro out to 11-6 lead. There's Howson again. That's his third.
You know, they've been struggling. They hadn't scored since his last one, and so had to go back to the well.
Yeah, and he's a tough guard. Very smooth. He's the thing that kind of separates him is I don't, obviously we're going to see better athletes just overall with more athletic ability than him, but his game is so well-rounded in terms of his ball handling ability, his shooting ability. He's got a quick release on his jumper. He plays good defense. That's the type of guy that, there's a reason why Villanova wants him. And that's when you have that well-rounded of a game. And on top of the fact that he's we're looking at him right now here. Broad-shouldered guy, pretty strong.
Looks a little stronger than you would have necessarily thought. And certainly now that he's at this end where you can really see him, you can really see, he's pretty well built.
Yeah, so he's probably going 6'4", 6'5". He's probably 185, 190, I would say. Again, if you're if you're Villanova, he kind of fits their mold, doesn't he?
Yes.
It seems like they have about 3 or 4 of those guys on the floor at about any given time. Half-court set here. Honecker out there chasing the ball at 7 foot. Pretty mobile for a 7-foot guy. We noticed that yesterday as well. He's certainly not stiff out there. Had a little bit of an ankle tweak, I think, at the end of the ballgame. It seems like he's moving pretty well. So he's made those little temporary things. Pretty good defensive possession right there by Amarillo, really forcing a tough shot. Maybe out of that timeout is exactly what Coach was getting them into. Say we got to pull our collective defensive intensity together. They definitely did on that possession. Nice D right there.
Hey, double-dribbled, but whatever.
Oh,
great chase down.
Yep. Didn't give up on it.
That's pretty impressive for a 7-foot kid like that.
And he went straight up on that one to affect the shot. That's really good. About as good as you can ask a 7-foot guy to do right there. Chase down block and then went straight up, plane of verticality. Right? That's another rule that has been instituted here fairly recently that I really love.
100%.
So many times that bigs especially got into foul trouble and shouldn't have. Simply because the offensive player created contact. Nice move there, Mahoney. Just do it all.
Yeah.
Just turn it over to him.
That's what he needed. It probably got him going a little bit.
Yeah,
he had been a little passive so far, and then he gets that chase down block, and now he's ready to go.
Yep.
Now, look at him going for the rebound right there. Doesn't get it, but he's flying around a little bit. You like to see that from a big guy.
Yep.
He's signed with Southern Illinois.
Yep. A
Saluki.
Yeah, love it. That's another one of those programs that's kind of been sneaky good for a long period of time.
It is.
Yep.
Nobody home right there.
Again, uncharacteristic. I'm not sure. We were talking about that yesterday. Amarillo going through that game against Westridge had very, very few turnovers. And it seemed like every possession they got a quality shot. Again.
Well, heck, they only missed 4 in the first half. So.
Right, that's correct. So, again, this is another thing about the Arby's Classic that I find really intriguing is the matchups from night to night. Really do accentuate team strengths, but it also can, to a certain extent, expose some weaknesses that those early round games don't necessarily bring to the forefront.
And it's like they say sometimes styles make fights. And this is definitely much more. I think that Westridge and Amarillo wanted to play a similar type of style last night. These are two teams that want to play very differently because Jonesboro wants to run. And wants to do some of these things, and as we say that, Amarillo tries to run, but it doesn't go that well. And Coach Pillion is really irritated with that turn of events right there.
Possessions in these types of games are pretty precious, and it doesn't strike me that it's one thing for a primary or secondary break after a defensive rebound to kind of lead you into something. It just doesn't seem that Amarillo is really built for the up and down game. They're doing a pretty good job right now of keeping this in the half court.
Yes.
There really hasn't been a whole lot of run out action as we get under the minute mark.
Well, right there, I'd say why Coach Pillion was really upset is they had 3 guys back. It was 2 on 3. So
even if you complete that pass, it doesn't really do you much good.
What's he going to do with it?
Solid point, and that may have been the exact words that he was using. What's he actually going to do with that, even if he catches that? I think I've uttered those words once before.
I was supposed to say, I've been known to utter that one once upon a time. When we throw it to our 5'2" guard on a cut in the middle of the lane, that's generally, I say, some version of that.
All right, under 5 seconds here to go. Run to the corner. Looking for a shot right here. Wilson's going to have to crank one up. Got a decent look at it, and he knocks it down.
Knocked it down.
He's been their go-to guy in that first quarter. So Marion Wilson with his 3rd bucket, I believe, in the first. So we got ourselves another quality ball game here into the first quarter. Jonesboro with that one shot separates themselves from Amarillo by 3 points, 14-11. So we're going to step aside here for just a minute. We'll get back with you guys to begin the second quarter. Stick with us here at the 38th Annual Arby's Classic.
Orthopedic providers know that injuries occur when you least expect them and require prompt diagnosis and treatment. That is why they offer their orthopedic urgent care walk-in clinic at the Bristol Midway, Johnson City, and Kingsport locations, saving patients up to 60% compared to an ER visit. Orthopedic urgent care walk-in clinics are open Monday through Saturday with no appointment necessary. For more information, visit www.AppalachianOrthopedics.com. Appalachian Orthopedics, a proud sponsor of the 2021 Arby's Classic.
Welcome back to Viking Hall. 38th Annual Arby's Classic here. Got myself, I'm your host, CJ Manahan. Next to me, we got Coach Charlie Tiller. Right? Failed to mention that, I believe, at the beginning of this game. We were talking in between ball games. So, CJ Manahan, Charlie Tiller here bringing you the action this evening. Second quarter action. Jonesboro up 3 over Amarillo. Pretty tight first quarter. Teams still feeling themselves out. Really nice turnaround right there.
He had about 3 or 4 of those yesterday that was just, you can't do anything about that.
Just basically unguardable with his ability to rise up, and that he's got a nice high release point on his shot as well. So pretty impressive player, Isaac Carroll Jr.
Nice pass to the corner.
Pillion. There's Pillion, yeah. Good look.
Really good look right there by Woods. Looking to assert himself a little bit. He's been pretty quiet so far.
He had a really nice game yesterday as well. That guy that was really moving the ball well, found open players, and knocked down the occasional jump shot as well. So Harold's starting to be a little bit more aggressive.
He's got a nice stroke.
He really does, yes. Love guys that especially taller guys that have that nice high release point. But he gets good rotation on the ball right there. Good shot platform. Again,
that's a tough shot.
It's a tough shot coming off of that. Yeah, absolutely. Now here's what Jonesboro really wants to do: is get out and transition. Amarillo did a pretty good job getting back there.
Yeah.
The numbers really weren't there. They looked like a 2-on-1 was breaking out, but Amarillo hustled back and got themselves in position, and there wasn't really even a threat of an offensive rebound there. Inside to Woods. He's another guy that kind of got off to a slow start yesterday, but really became sort of an enforcer in the second half.
And really fourth quarter yesterday, he really turned it up. Because you're exactly right. He had been pretty quiet. He'd been in some foul trouble, and just really, turned it on and gave them that third guy that they really need.
Yeah, big physical fellow, long. Again, that 6'7" or 6'8". He's got that extra factor. I got to bet his wingspan is over 7 feet.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Nice pass by Pillion. Yes, really nicely done. Finished with the left hand there too.
Just got around that guy.
Yep. Nice pass. Good finish. That's going to tie the ball game up. Harrell with the foul there. 15 foul on Jonesboro. Woods to the line to finish this, attempt to finish this three-point play, and he does. So Amarillo finds himself on top here. Nice little run to begin the second quarter. Secured the lead 17-16. Nice defense there, keeping Wilson at bay. Right. Another move by Harrell. Nice move up off there. Good challenge by Hornicker, and he was able to really affect that shot. And then now Harrell picks up his second. Not what you really want.
Really bad news for Amarillo.
94 feet from the basket, trying to get that ball back after he'd missed that initial shot.
And I think he felt like he picked it clean, but, from the angle that the referee was at, it looks like a foul. Yeah. Whether it was or not, that looks like a foul.
Agreed.
Especially with a 7-foot guy chinning the ball like that. You're going to get called for that, even if you did knock it free cleanly.
Yeah, absolutely. So half-court possession here for the Sandies. This is where they throw. Oh, yeah, I think he had the lob if he wanted it.
Yeah.
It's just second-guessed it there. A nice back cut there by Landry Britton. But Nickerson just couldn't pull the trigger on it. So another turnover. It's been really pretty much a half-court ball game.
Yeah.
up to this point, which I'm sure is where Amarillo definitely wants it. Nice move there. He's really tough going to his left. Right? That's where he's made 3 shots, basically all of that in that same fashion. Right-handed player going left. As a shooter, guy that's basically what my career was based on, I always liked going left as a right-handed guy. I felt rhythm-wise it was easier to go pick up left and go to my right than it was ball in my right hand and then have to go up and shoot it. So.
And sometimes when you're a right-handed kid, you hear growing up, oh, you got to work on your left, and your left ends up getting better.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We've got, not to use our team as an example, but our point guard. That is 100% Kendall Cross. Her whole game is going to her left a lot because she worked so hard to get her left hand good that now it's better.
Yeah. I can completely understand that in that aspect. So I've got to be. Probably calling for a couple of illegal screens on that one. Right?
Yep.
So anyway, it's interesting to watch these guys in terms of their fundamentals. The athleticism obviously is what everybody's here to see, but when you really kind of get into the nuts and bolts of what makes these teams tough and what makes these individual players tough, oftentimes it has to do with how fundamentally sound they are.
Yes, 100%. And we're seeing 2 teams right here that definitely are. But it's been all tournament long. Really, I've been impressed because, you hear people talk all the time, oh, kids today, they don't work on the fundamentals. I totally disagree.
I completely disagree.
You see, especially these high-level players, their fundamentals are better than they've ever been.
There's Housen right there.
Speaking of fundamentals,
right
what a perfect shooting stroke that is.
I love that point. I love that point because what you find now is that these guys play a lot, and I think that's where people get this misconception that all they do is go around and travel and play. Well, if you're going to go around and travel and play, you're probably practicing quite a bit, right? And the gym time that's involved in that is pretty extensive, to say the least. And these guys that are you can watch them and know that you can't just show up and play like that. Right? There's a lot of work. There's a lot of gym time, a lot of behind-the-scenes work that has to go into somebody's ability to step out onto the floor like we're seeing at this high level and be able to execute at that level.
And right now a 9-2 run to start the second quarter for the Sandies after, again, kind of absorbing that blow early and being able to just do their thing right here, kind of strangling Jonesboro a little bit with this half-court offense and being able to – and the thing I'm really impressed with the Sandies is how good their transition defense is.
Yes.
Because a lot of times teams that aren't good in transition also aren't good in transition defense.
Right.
And and not saying we don't know if they're good in transition because they don't look to do it very much.
Nope.
But they are excellent in transition defense. They do a good job with their floor balance. They do a good job, sprinting back and really, not giving up easy open shots.
Tough shot there by Washington.
He thought he had drawn some contact, but the referee said play on.
And to take your point a step further, a team like Jonesboro that really wants to get up and down, right? When they're not allowed to do that, we're seeing some of their struggles in the half court here, right? They've gotten some decent looks.
Nice defense right there. Good help side.
Off of dribble penetration and with some step back jumpers, but again, they're not a team that wants to be at the 16-point mark halfway through the second quarter, I'm sure. Right? So studying contrast, studying styles, we were talking about earlier. That's what this is really all about, right? Pretty nice little move there by Nickerson to get himself free.
Yeah,
Foul there by Wilson.
Really thought we might get another charge right there to discuss, but
proper call. It's going to the free throw line too. That's 1-on-1 now at this point. So, but I think that's really interesting when you start to get into the sort of, I don't know, it's not minutia. It's what makes matchups fun, is to look at 2 teams that have a certain style and which one is able to exert their style on the other. And obviously games are going to have ebbs and flows, but this one seems to really Amarillo has Jonesboro right where they want them. It appears, at least at this.
They're playing their pace without question. I mean, we talked about last night with Housen always playing at his pace. That's their whole team is doing that right now. Yeah. And they're making Jonesboro play the way they want to play rather than the way that Jonesboro wants to play.
It reminds me a little bit of my junior year. We played White County in the first round of the state tournament, and they were a team that was not nearly as heavily touted as, say, like a Memphis White Station. Nice look there from Nickerson. White Station, you also had Pearl Cone with Ron Slay and John Henderson, who were the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing. And we had the unfortunate aspect of playing White County in that first round, and they remind me a lot of these guys. Brent Jolly was a 6'7" point guard, just kind of a do-everything guy. They had two guys down low, 6'5", 6'6", that you just couldn't do anything with. And then they had this fellow by the name of Kyle Gribble, who went on and was a basketball player and the quarterback at Carson Newman. Right? Mm-hmm. So they had just talent everywhere, but they were understated in comparison. And they went on and beat Pearl Cone in that second round, and then beat White Station in the finals. Right? And so this team out of Sparta, Tennessee, middle of the state, it just took down everybody, right? And this group from Amarillo reminds me a little bit of that with the style of play they got, especially Housen and the way that he plays, and also the way that Jolly played. Jolly ended up at Tennessee Tech and was a good player there for a long time.
Yeah, and folks might have heard of his sister as well.
Yeah.
She was a fairly decent player in her own right.
Might have been a decent player at the old UT there as well. Absolutely. So anyway,
won a national championship for 3.
Yeah, just a national championship for 3. That household, I'm sure, was just slightly competitive.
Yeah, right? I'd say just a little bit.
So 2 minutes and 30 seconds here in the first half. Amarillo has spread their lead out to 23-16, 7-point lead, and they really are controlling this game from top to bottom. Ball's back in Housen's hands, and he's starting to exert himself. A little bit of ball handling action there. Good D though, to keep him under control. Nice interior pass to Woods, and there it is. I mean,
great jump
just execution is what's going on here, right? And even though that was some fancy dribbling by Housen, he was under control that whole time, right? And he found his running mate there in Woods. Nice move there.
They really needed that bucket back.
They did.
I mean, that's their second bucket of the quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, they've really struggled at this end. And again, I mean, it's all about tempo. All about tempo.
Yeah. Nelson back to the free throw line here. It's 9th team foul, I believe, so he's still at 1-1. Knocks it down. Housen already with 13, I believe.
That's just half of their points.
That's it. That's right. There's 14. So again, he's been in control of this thing. This is what I kind of expected after watching yesterday's game. He was never really in a secondary role. He was always kind of the primary, but he really fed his teammates and got them going. Nice rebound on the backside there by Horniger.
What you want a point guard to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to. That's what you want a point guard to do, is be able to be a guy that gets people what they need, especially a scoring point guard. What a pass. Goodness gracious. Thank you for making me look like I know what I'm talking about, Mr. Housen.
Nice cut there by Pillion too to fill that gap, and then finish off the glass. So minute to go here, and Amarillo's pushed this lead out to double figures. Really putting a damper on what Jonesboro wants to do. Have we even seen a transition bucket here?
No.
I don't think we have.
Not in the second quarter, for sure. I mean, we had a couple early, but since then it's been, Jonesboro has 4 points in this quarter.
Nice cut.
What a great pass.
My goodness.
Goodness gracious.
This is the execution that we were talking about.
And that stuff just becomes contagious. Yeah. One guy makes a great pass, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's kind of fun. Let's do that. And I mean, you just love to see that kind of execution.
And that was 4 or 5 passes before that. That cut to the rim actually happened. So that's good stuff.
And we're gonna have a foul here underneath the hold.
But yeah, 4, 5, 6 passes every time, and then hard cuts off of that.
But Amarillo can afford the foul. That's just their third team foul. So Amarillo has just totally controlled this game the entire second quarter.
Outside of Harrell a couple of times making some moves in the kind of medium range, most of their shots have come from the deep perimeter, and they're doing Jonesboro doing Amarillo a little bit of a favor by that. They seem on the perimeter to have a little bit more of a quickness advantage, but they just have not been able to penetrate this defense. There's Woods banging around in there. The ball's loose. Nice hustle on the floor again. Still on the floor. Still on the floor.
What?
We got a little pile up here on the Tennessee marker in the middle of the floor. But good hustle there on all accounts. But Drew Schaefer,
and it looks like
guard from Amarillo, was going to have a foul call.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. Washington's going to pick it up, and it looks like we're going to get one of those dudes. They're both kind of standing there. Howson.
He's like, I'll take it.
Howson says, it'll be me. You know who's a good free throw shooter? This guy right here.
Right. That's exactly right. So he's gonna get 2 here. Rattles in the first one. Up to 15 points here in the first half. Really kind of controlling.
Just a dominant second quarter right here by the Sandys.
Yep.
I mean.
And Howson right at the center of that.
Yeah. I mean 22-4 here in the second quarter.
All of a sudden you look up, it's a 15-point ball game. And so the contrasting styles has really played out here. And the style that's been dominant is the half-court execution style of play on both ends. They execute well defensively. I think that's maybe understated, but they've really taken away what Jonesboro wants to do.
I mean, and like that is a super tough shot.
I mean, even though that that's an 8-footer, but it's challenged, and you got a 7-footer right there that's gonna be make life miserable. So to piggyback off your point right there, a 22-4 second quarter, and all of a sudden you look at a situation that almost feels like kind of like a slow strangulation there. Right? It just really boa constrictor style, kind of wrapped themselves around what Jonesboro was trying to do, and just kind of choked the life out of them there in that second quarter. I mean, and Howson is just kind of taking this game over on the offensive end. He's putting the ball where it needs to go at just about every level. 16 points at halftime, almost outscoring Jonesboro on his own.
Yeah, I mean 16 points, but you don't feel like it's like a heliocentric kind of thing where it's like, I mean, it's all in the flow, and that's hard to beat. Well, we got a dance team here that's going to put on a show, so we'll take a little break right here, turn it over to them, and you're watching the 38th Arby's Classic on the Viking Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, for your halftime entertainment, welcome Studio One from Kingsport, Tennessee. Choreographed tonight by Olivia Bevins, director Alita Warner. It's Studio One.
This time, see right, ready to go.
Fun Factory is pleased to be the three-point contest sponsor of the Arby's Classic this year, happening on Friday, December 31st. Fun Factory is also pleased to bring you a chance to shoot for prizes throughout the tournament. Fun Factory provides inflatable rides for hours of entertainment. Choose us for your next party for a guaranteed fun event. Don't forget to join us for the Fun Factory three-point contest Friday at 4 p.m. Pepsi is pleased to sponsor the Arby's Classic. The Pepsi Beverage Company is the producer of Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Sierra Mist, Dr. Pepper, Aquafina, Gatorade, and more. You can find Pepsi at your local food city or stop by the concession stand and have a Pepsi day. Marsh Propane is the fastest growing locally owned and operated propane company in Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia, and Western North Carolina. Offices are located in Greenville, Kingsport, Mountain City, and Sevierville in Tennessee, in Abingdon, Virginia, in Nashville, North Carolina, and in Princeton, West Virginia. Please go to the website at marshpet.com to find the location nearest you. Marsh Propane, proud to be a longtime sponsor of the Arby's Classic. Scoring for Jonesboro at halftime. 7 points for Amari and Wilson. 7 points for Philip Tillman. 4 points for
Welcome back to Viking Hall and the 2021 Arby's Classic. We're going to get you a little first half statistical analysis as we get ready for the second half of action. Amarillo, the first half, 33 points on 11 of 15 shooting. So for the second game in a row, the Sandys have missed 4 first-half shots. Now, they didn't take as many this half as they did in the first half yesterday when it was, I think, what were they, 21 for 24 or something?
That's 20 for 24.
Yeah, 20 for 24. So, fewer shots today, but still just 4 misses. 5 for 7 from 2, 6 for 8 from 3.
Outrageous. 5
for 6 from the line. So even counting free throws, only missed 5 shots. Just ridiculous. Now, they did have 10 turnovers, which is a much higher number than they had yesterday. But, just shooting the lights out. Jonesboro, meanwhile, 7 for 26 from the field. So, that's where you see a big difference. And they only got to the line twice. They made them both, but only got there twice. They were 2 for 10 from 3. So, Amarillo plus 4 from 3 on 2 fewer attempts. So,
stifling defense, really.
Really, they just did a great job defensively, great job making Jonesboro take the shots that they wanted them to take. For Jonesboro, leading scorer is Amarian Wilson with 7 points. Philip Tillman also has 7. Nobody else has more than, and then there's just one other guy with 4. Mm-hmm. So, not a very wide variety there. And then on the other end, Howson, as we talked about, 16 points on 4 or 5 from the field. All of those are threes. And then they also got 7 points from Woods, 2 from Hornecker. So, he'll get going. And then 5 from Pillion. So, really great performance in the first half. For Howson having 2 fewer points than the entire Jonesboro team makes it pretty tough. As we start second half action, CJ, we'll turn it back over to you.
Good rundown there. So, Zay Landry, Britton from the corner, starts this third quarter out just, I'm sure, as the Amarillo staff would have wanted. Saw a very similar play to that in the first game to start the second half, with kind of a dribble drive and then a kick all the way along the baseline of the corner. And it was able to knock that one down. Good defense there by Honeck. That's really what he's done well. Hadn't really lit up the statistics overall, but he's been a real presence in the middle, challenging shots and changing shots. Right there, as we said that, he's going to hammer one home. So, again, right on cue. Honecker right there makes a nice little step-through move, takes it strong and finishes. But he's really been tough defensively in those kind of non-statistical categories, being in good position, challenging shots, altering shots. And it's part of the reason why. And,
of course, had one highlight chase down block.
Yes. I think that it kind of accentuates what his role is on this team, right? And again, when you have a guy like Howson that can just kind of control the action, when you're backed up by a guy that can really control the paint, it's a recipe for success defensively.
Yeah, I think Landry Britton kind of overhelped right there.
He did, yeah.
I think he thought Hornecker needed help and he didn't.
There's probably not too many times where he's really going to need a certain amount of help there, especially against a smaller opponent.
Yeah,
let your big guy do his thing.
They kind of had him out in space a little bit, and I think that Landry Britton thought he was going to need help, and really, he did a good job staying in front.
Yep. Nice pass. Woods to the corner there. Inside, Hornick's got a good size advantage here. No, that's pretty. Oh, really nice look. See over top of the defense right there, and Woods with a nice cut. He's rewarded there. But Honecker made that play happen. Had a good awareness, head up, dumped a nice little pass down to Woods, who finished with a reverse layup.
And we remember yesterday early when Westridge came out in a zone, that was what he did really well.
Yes.
Hornecker was really the hub of the offense, and they really kind of moved it through him, and he hit guys along the baseline, hit shooters out on the wing, did a lot of stuff. And, of course, Jonesboro's played man this whole game, so they haven't done as much of that high post action, but you kind of saw it right there. He took an extra step.
Got away with it. Similar to the play that started the quarter there. Mm-hmm. Couldn't quite take full advantage of it. But, again, transition defense, good example right there. Good 5 guys back there.
Yeah.
Right? Even with a guy like Landry Britton, who took that shot from the corner, he still beat some of the Jonesboro guys down the floor. Right? So they've been coached up well, where if that transition offense is starting to happen, you better get back and get in front of it. And so it's part of the reason why Jonesboro just has not been able to get going. It has been a 100% half-court ball game, and that definitely favors the Sandys.
Now they're kind of, well, actually, I thought he was face guarding, but he got off of him. Nice pass.
Oh, and got tripped up there.
Yep.
Nothing he could really do about it. But again, still really nice nice dribble drive dump down right there, and if Woods had been able to keep his feet, we probably would have seen the dunk right there as well. Turned his ankle a little bit there too. I saw him get stepped on. So 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Amarillo with a comfortable 20-point lead, and that lead almost seems insurmountable the way this game has gone. Jonesboro just hasn't been able to get anything going offensively, and that's a testament. I mean, it's really a testament to what Amarillo's done. It's not like Jonesboro's just been throwing up a bunch of wild stuff. They just haven't been able to get quality looks.
No, they're just. I mean, I think the comparison you used in the first half is so apt. I mean, they're like a boa constrictor.
Yeah,
they're just choking the life out of them. They, don't let them get anything easy.
Yep.
And I mean, that helps. Defensively, if you just make the other team have to really work for buckets, you're going to be successful.
Honecker on Wilson there, right?
Yeah.
But again, he played him perfectly. Gave him a little bit of a shade to the baseline, but was gonna force him to drive into him. Right? Again, nice move there by Harrell.
Harrell's got to get going for him. I mean, he's the one guy that's got a little size and can has knocked down shots pretty consistently. He knocked down shots pretty consistently yesterday as well. He spent a lot of the first half, particularly the second quarter, on the bench in foul trouble.
Nice pass there by Pillion to Hornecker. Just couldn't quite get that to go. Again, there it is. That's the type of look you're looking for right there. But we had a little offensive foul, look like.
Maybe the illegal screen.
Yeah, my guess. Yep. They're going to try some pressure here, see if they can get the Sandys sped up. But that's not likely to happen with the guy who's got the ball in his hands right there. One thing we noted about him yesterday was this is kind of where he thrives. Was he just does not get sped up at any time. He plays the game at his pace all the time. Right? Found a good look there for Pillion. Just couldn't quite knock that one down. But one thing I've noticed about him too is he does change speeds very well. But he's under control. But he also has that little dribble gear right that he can get into when he's got a guy on his hip. He can go by him.
And it's a little subtle thing. It's
absolutely.
a real subtle change of speed. It's not like you can see where he goes like 0 to 60. It's more like 30 to 40.
Right. Yeah. Good. That's a good way to put it. It's not blow by stuff, but it's enough to get you kind of moving in one direction. Then he can also pull it back because you're going to overexert.
Or he gets you on his butt, and then he's got you where he wants you.
Yeah. And for a guy that's probably, like I said, 185, 190 pounds, really well built. Once he gets you on his hip or behind him, it's over with. Right. That's a nice little. See, again, unselfish play right there. He's the one that sets the back screen that gets Woods free. So he gets all this attention, but he also right there is helping his teammates execute that play. Nice look for Harrell. Again, as you said, he seems to be the guy. Right? If anybody's going to get it going for Jonesboro, he seems to be it.
Yeah, they're going to need him.
He's a talented player. Very obviously, he's going to score at both the mid-range and from deep. Haven't seen him really get to the rim much. But again, for a guy that's really what's going to take for Jonesboro to get back in this game. Anyway, another nice cut by Woods. He is really making that happen on just about every possession, and Jonesboro just doesn't seem to have an answer for it. But it's like any other good offensive adage, you keep doing it until they stop.
Yeah. I mean, and they're not running the same play, but hey, run that same play.
Look at that. Good look. Good battle there by Pillion. It's got to bounce, though. It's a pretty ambitious shot by Howson there, but again, didn't seem out of place. We ran it specifically for him in that scenario. Didn't quite get his head around on that one, just from a technique perspective, but it was still right there in the cylinder. Nice move there by Wilson. Again, nice hedge there by Horner, can make it tough on that smaller guard. That's kind of a running double team there, yeah?
Yeah, that's something he did yesterday. Yeah. Every time his guys set a ball screen, he did a great job getting out there and really showing and making it tough. But
he moves his feet really well. He obviously uses his length well, and he kind of plays within himself. but he does a good job of really. You can see that he's making a concerted effort to get down and move laterally. And when you've got the length that he's got, just that little bit of effort that he's putting into that is.
You don't even have to be able to move that great, but if
no.
you can move passably with that length, I mean, it just makes it so hard on the offense. You know, it's almost like you almost don't want to run a ball screen.
And he doesn't look uncomfortable in that space. Obviously, he's been coached well in that scenario. But he also just has some natural ability there.
Good extra pass, and then
probably should have taken that shot.
Yeah, and I think that's what Housen was hollering at him.
You're not going to get a more open shot.
He's like, dude, I got you an open one.
Yeah. He's going to dribble into a tougher shot.
And he's going to come sit down. I think Coach Pillion thought he should have shot that one too. And he's telling him as he follows him down the bench and lets him know, hey, that's what we're working for.
That's right.
You know.
And Housen did a great job of kind of drawing attention to himself and then kicking to him in that corner. And again, he made a shot from the opposite corner. Oh man,
boy,
ate that shot up, but there's a foul on the way up. It looks like. Rousing discussion between Coach Pillion and the referee there. Oh, he made the point that I'm in the box, I can't come up there, so you're going to come to me.
Yeah.
Right? Good
stuff.
I mean,
you tell me to stay in my box. So.
He said, I'm in my box right here. Come to me. Right? I like it. Two can play at that game.
That's right. I appreciate that. I'll have to remember and use that one tomorrow.
Totally appreciate it. Right? If nothing else, the coach has got to love a little passive-aggressive move right there. Oftentimes we get way too get a bad reputation for being over-aggressive. Right? Love it. Nice whip pass there. Pillion's going to take it in strong.
Good trail right there.
It was good patience just on the Sandys part here. In full control with 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. The lead has been trimmed down to 13. Harrell has done a good job of kind of getting his offensive game going, and that's made a difference. Digging this lead from, at one point in time, 20 points. So 9-2 run. Yeah, 9-2 run here over this last little bit. Housen with 10 seconds or so to go here in the third. He's going to keep working there, kick across, going inside to Honecker. He's going to move up over top, gets his own offensive board, puts it up and scores. That's
great
what
job
you want.
Keeping it up high. Man.
You coach big kids to do that, and that's about as good as it can be done.
And you look, too, I don't know if you saw right there, Housen, as soon as that buzzer went off, he kind of clenched his fist like, yes. Yep. I mean, like that, and that wasn't his bucket. You know, that was his teammate making a play. And, you know, when your star player is cheering on everybody else, that's what you really like to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So leadership comes in a lot of different ways. But sometimes just being that guy, you can be the rah-rah guy.
Yeah.
You can be the emotional leader. You can be the vocal guy. But sometimes just something like that, being happy for a teammate, for being able to execute something that they're expected to execute. There's a lot to be said about leading by example, and I think that's a case in point right there as well. Good catch there by Coach Tiller on that angle. So we're moving into the fourth quarter here. 15-point lead seems very comfortable for Amarillo. In this case, the fact that Jonesboro's really struggled to score, although they did outscore the Sandys in that quarter 11-9. Most of that due to Isaac Harrell's work on the offensive end. Talented offensive player, but again, they've dug themselves a pretty heavy hole. Again, as we keep coming back to, the first 4 minutes of this quarter are going to tell the story. Whether or not Jonesboro can dig back into this thing and make it a ball game, or if Amarillo is able to continue to play the steady half-court game that they've played all night and put this thing away. So Wilson into the front court here. Jonesboro needs to make a move. They're going to make a nice backdoor cut, and there he is. The aforementioned Harrell got loose, right, and was able to rise up in one hand.
Nice back tip right there.
Yep, nice Philip Tillman there on the trail. Got a good, came up with a steal in that case. Really nice execution out of the quarter break there by Jonesboro. And again, kind of hanging around, 13-point lead. The offensive, good step in there by Buford Wesson. Read that like a book. Nice little step through. Could not finish. That would have been a big bucket right there. Come within one more bucket of being a single-digit ball game.
Well, and early when Jonesboro had the lead, it was forcing some turnovers.
Right.
Really uncharacteristic for the
There it
Sandies.
is.
And they picked up their defensive intensity a little bit right here.
But you notice who's not in the ball game.
100%.
And
we're going to get a 30-second timeout, and he is getting back at the ball game, as is Mr. Pillion. They're both returning to the ball game here.
So quarter break. I'm sure that's again strategy as a coach. You're trying to give your best player some rest. You got a comfortable lead, and all of a sudden, things change quickly. Jonesboro gets out, gets a couple of steals, transition buckets, and a nice backdoor cut to Harrell, and all of a sudden we got ourselves an 11-point ball game.
Yeah.
So, it's just the way this goes. Guys like Housen don't grow on trees, and you don't have them at the end of the bench either. Right? So.
And when you take them out, they usually don't stay there for long.
No.
I'd say he was probably hoping to get more than 50 seconds of a break for his player, but I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do in a game like this.
Yeah, I'm thinking 6-minute mark. Maybe we can get to 6 minutes, give him a couple of minutes, and then he can go out and finish the ball game. But hey, these are young fellas. They're in good physical shape.
Yes.
They can handle it. Oh, I don't really love that call, but it seems to be one that good defenders can kind of bait referees into making. There wasn't hardly any body contact there, from what I could see. Just regular contact. It wasn't any different contact on that play than there would be just in any other defensive possession. And just because a guy falls down does not mean that you're obligated to call something there, right? So again, I think he did get a little bit of hand right there. And again, big guys, you're always going to tell him this. If he just goes straight up, he probably shoots that right into his hand. Right? He did bring the arm down a little bit, and the referees, again, are going to call that just about every time. Even if there's not a ton of contact, they see that arm come down, and they're going to make that call. So number 11, Tillman to the line, knocks down the first, and we got ourselves a 10-point ball game here. Right? 7 minutes to go, and all of a sudden this thing's starting to tighten up. One more for Tillman. He misses that one.
I mean, this is another case like Greenville. You have a state championship team right here.
Yeah.
And they're gonna play with some character like a state championship team.
Yeah.
So
foul on the floor here. Yeah, I mean, nobody that's out here is a slouch. That's for sure. And again, contrasting styles are one thing. It's a whole other thing to say, what if this group kind of finally figures it out? What if they turn it on? What's that look like? Well, we're starting to see it here, I think. Sometimes it takes these teams longer to figure things out. And something as simple as having your best player off the floor for a minute and a couple of possessions to get away from you, and all of a sudden we're back into a situation. Yeah, it's close to bang bang right there. You find yourself all of a sudden in a ball game, right?
100%, and really, I mean, it's something as simple right now for Jonesboro is the fact they picked up their defensive intensity.
Yeah.
I mean, they're jumping around guys, whereas they were letting Amarillo kind of run their offense and catch the ball.
Yep.
Now they're making it a lot harder on
guys
them.
in passing lanes
They're
here.
really getting up around on passing lanes. Great screen right there by Hornecker, and Housen just can't get it to go.
Yeah. And that's one that just would have been automatic in these probably these first 3 quarters. There's Harrell taking it strong, missed that one, left a little short. And then got a foul here?
I think he stepped out of bounds.
Okay. So a couple of possessions here that, Amarillo's kind of gone into a little bit of a funk here offensively. They didn't have a great third quarter either. They just kind of maintained. But now 5 points have gone the way of Jonesboro here in the first 2 minutes. And the Sandies still looking for their first bucket of the fourth quarter. They got the ball in the right guy's hands. Right? Expect that Housen is going to be the guy that's going to kind of control the action. There's a nice cut on his part. Finds Woods for a 15-footer and bang. Right? That's okay. That's more to the effect of what we've been used to. And I think he probably could have taken that shot. He probably could have taken that on the block and made a move, but he found Woods wide open. Had confidence in his teammate, and Woods stepped in and knocked that down confident.
That's a case of instead of getting a good shot, getting a great shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, wide open 15-footer. Got to trust you got to be able to make that shot, especially with rhythm right there to be able to step into it. Now we've switched to a 2-3, right?
Yeah.
Change the pace here a little bit. Putting Jonesboro in a situation where they got to spread out. We got a good look here. Tillman from straight on could not get that one to go. Nice job by DeVarius Montgomery. He really went up high to get that one. Hornecker probably did a good job of fouling there.
He was a little slow to rotate back that time. They threw it. He came out on the guy in the short corner, and then when they skipped it, he didn't really move on the flight of the ball, and so that allowed Jonesboro to get the rebound.
Yeah.
Looks like we got a 30-second timeout right here.
Yep. 12-point lead, 46-34. 5:21 to go here in the fourth. So a lot of ball games still to be played, and things have tightened up here significantly from the time that Amarillo was up 40-20 at one stage. And it didn't seem like Jonesboro was going to really have much of an answer. But they have picked up, again, I think Coach Tiller's right in terms of the difference that we're seeing is more defensive intensity. They forced some turnovers by getting into passing lanes here. And, Amarillo, I think it's fair to say, not a real deep team.
No.
Right?
Well, they haven't played very many guys. I mean,
7 or 8 guys probably, and most of the minutes have been played by their starting 5. So a little bit of fatigue could be coming in. Again, these guys played yesterday afternoon, so they're playing twice within 24 hours, basically. And, I don't care how good a shape you're in. If you're playing a lot of minutes, 2 games in 24 hours is a lot. A lot to ask of anybody. So we'll see how this plays out as we head to the 5-minute mark. Nice move by Wilson right there. Low crossover. Couldn't get it to go. And there's Hornecker right there with a really nice box out. And that's a, guy of his length a lot of times. You see that's one bugaboo or one complaint I have with some larger, taller and larger players is because they're tall and large, they tend to think that they don't need to box out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one thing that my argument against that was always, well, what would happen if you do? Right?
Yeah.
Is anybody going to get a rebound over you if you actually step in and box somebody out?
They would absolutely never.
So any offensive rebound you give up is because you didn't put yourself in that position. So
it's like Howson took a little shot to the face right there.
It's a little reach in, and I think he got a little inadvertent shot to
a little follow through right there.
Yep. But again, he got it, as we said earlier, got by the guy, got him on his hip, and that was about all they could do was reach in and foul from behind. So both teams have 6 fouls. We're going to be in the bonus the rest of the way. Going to Woods on the backside. Was a little bit late on the pass, right? And Woods not able to secure it, and actually went off his hand back to the Golden Hurricane. I think he had him there if we did time that up a little bit better. Woods was open on the backside. So scoring has kind of stagnated here a little bit in the last probably I would say probably 8 minutes. Nice pass there. Found on the baseline there is Keon Pointer, snuck in behind Hornecker, and now we have ourselves a 10-point ball game.
Well, I mean, right now that's just 9 points total in this quarter for both teams. So
it feels it. It feels like the game's kind of ground to a halt to a certain extent. Offensive execution hasn't been as good. We've seen a few more turnovers, and without any real transition, you start to feel this half-court action start to really get kind of tight. So we've got a foul here. It's going to send Pillion, I believe, to the free throw line. For a 1-and-1. Again, both teams going to be in the bonus from here on out as we come up to the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Free throw is probably going to be real crucial here.
Especially these front ends.
Yeah. First shot's up, and no good off the back iron. So Jonesboro continues to hang around. Can cut it to single digits here with the bucket. Harrell's got his feet set, looking good from the perimeter, just missed that one off to the left. That's a really nice, good execution right there. Got the ball to the guy that they would want and want to take that shot. Hornecker, nice little reverse pivot there. That's pretty. That's a really sweet bucket for the 7-footer.
Great soft touch too. I mean, just like you want a player to do it. Yep. I mean, you talk about the footwork and then that just putting it up there nice and soft where it can bounce around and go in.
Yep. Wilson for 3, no good. Woods comes in from the wing, skies in to secure that board. But yeah, back to Hornicker right there. That's just something that you just don't. You can teach guys to have good footwork. You can teach guys to be decent in space. You can't really teach guys to have great hands, right? As much as I'd like to think that you could do that, it doesn't really work that way.
Unfortunately, it does not.
This guy seems to have kind of all those things. What a great catch right there as well. Couldn't gather himself. Momentum was carrying him to the baseline, but again, a guy, 7-foot guy coming across the lane to be able to catch the ball above his head, keep it there, and even get that shot off speaks a lot to his ability. And again, he's a guy that it feels like he's just kind of scratching the surface of who he can be.
I agree. I mean, and he's one of those guys. I mean, he's a really skilled guy for a big guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, really for anybody, but especially for a big guy to have that kind of soft touch and those hands like you were talking about. I mean, that's just not something you see every day. And now we're going to get a foul. It looks like it's going to be on House because he's incredulous.
Crestfallen even.
I mean,
I didn't see exactly what happened there.
No, I didn't see that either.
It was kind of in a crowd. But that's going to send Kayvon Pointer to the line for a 1-and-1.
And, of course, that's also at the far end from our broadcast location.
Yes, it is.
So,
it's true.
So, a little bit tougher for us to see.
Well, especially in a crowd, sometimes we have referees that strategically place themselves in areas that don't necessarily help us. In that case, I think that was a case in point. Pointer's first shot is up and off the back iron, no good.
They've missed a couple of big opportunities here.
They have the last couple of possessions.
I mean, a chance to really make this a close ball game. And
they're running and jumping here. Reach-in foul on Tillman. It's going to send Landry Britton to the line for a 1-and-1. This is 8th team foul on Jonesboro.
Yeah, I dare say they've been instructed not to foul Housen if they can help it.
Yeah, well, he's a guy that's been certainly been money for these last first two ball games. And again, as you said earlier, Landry Britton is he's one of those kind of sneaky good guys as well. One of those players that, especially in games like this, you need guys that are confident enough to handle the basketball. You need them to be confident enough to be strong when you're going to get fouled, and just not shy away from that contact. And he seems to be a guy that certainly Housen trusts. He wouldn't have made that pass to him if he didn't. So first free throw up for him is good. So he earns the second half. Again, those 1-on-1s are key. You can make those. Leads oftentimes get extended, and games get salted away.
Man, I'm pretty impressed with Tillman's checkerboard shoes he's got on. I just noticed those. I hadn't noticed those the whole game.
Yeah, those are pretty sweet.
Again, not something I could pull off, but I like them.
There's a certain level of swagger that you have to have in order to even think that you'd want to put those on your feet, I would suspect.
I'd say so.
But at the same point in time,
I like it.
It's just, I think for a lot of us, and I would put myself in this category, I definitely am a professional appreciator of certain aspects.
100%. I appreciate a great-looking pair of shoes, but as we discussed in the last game, I try not to get ones that draw attention to my big old feet. So.
All right, we got a full timeout. 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. We're going to step aside for just a minute. We'll be back here shortly, take you through the rest of this ballgame.
KBM Commercial Properties is your one-stop for development of shopping centers, retail, medical, and restaurant locations. With a professional leasing and management team, they offer the most attractive commercial sites for your business needs. If you want to open a new location or relocate an existing business, they have locations around the Tri-Cities and beyond. Find them on the web at www.kbmcp.com. KBM Commercial Properties, a proud sponsor of the Arby's Classic.
Welcome back to Viking Hall, 38th Annual Arby's Classic. We're in the fourth quarter here of a more tightening ball game, one that was a 20-point game here in the second half. Oh, you got pass on through there, and here's Hornicker on the other end, who's going to hammer that home. Really nice execution by the Sandys there, breaking that press. And it is now a 13-point ball game with under 2 minutes to go. 3-ball by Dion Buford-Weston. Knocked that one straight down and pulls this game right back to 10 points. So as well as the Sandys executed that press break. Equally impressive was Jonesboro's ability to get a wide open three on the other end and knock it down. Fortunate to hang on to the ball there.
Yeah, they're really fortunate. I mean, that was again excellent press right there by the Golden Hurricane, and I mean, you just. We're going to see a little execution here in the last minute and a half. Oh, there's Housen.
Too strong.
He said, I'm gonna finish this thing right here.
Subtle little jab step to get his defender to move one direction, then to cut directly to the ball. Strong finish. Nice play by the Villanova commit in that case. By the way, just going to say on that last one, if you overthrow Hornecker, you're done something.
You have. Well, there was a play a couple minutes ago where he actually threw it, and I think he was intending it for Landry Britton, but Hornecker thought it was intended for him and couldn't believe they had thrown it over his head. And I personally can't understand because I mean I'm a mere 6'4", but yeah, that's I'm a short guy in comparison to the 7-footer right there.
3 ball, up and off the back iron, no good. Housen's got it. He's going to put it in the front court right here. He's going to bring the entire Golden Hurricane with him. Apparently, he's going to call himself timeout.
Yeah.
But, pushed in the front court there, and timeouts to spare. So smart move on the guard's part in order to make that happen. So minute 16 to go, fourth quarter action. 54-41, Amarillo. Again, it's going to come down to free throws here. Jonesboro, basically at this point, everything going forward is going to be a two-shot foul. So Amarillo finds themselves in a real advantageous position. During the last time out, we were talking amongst ourselves about matchups going forward. Again, not counting our chickens before they're hatched, but it looks like Amarillo's probably going to pull this one out. You look at the study and contrast of that Amarillo team versus the two teams we got coming up in our finale this evening. My goodness, something really to look forward to as we head on down. Obviously, we've got one more game tonight, Long Island Lutheran and Tampa Catholic. Are they both the Crusaders?
I'm sorry?
Are they both the Crusaders?
I believe they are.
We got Crusaders versus Crusaders tonight.
Does the winner get to keep the name?
I guess it's going to be like racing for pinks right there.
Yeah,
who wins this thing gets to keep the name. Right? But again, it should be a really interesting style with those two groups. But contrast them with Amarillo, who really is that half-court discipline, execute, use your size and skill against teams that really, in my mind, probably want to get up and down.
Yeah.
Long Island for sure. And again, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tampa Catholic last night was really up and down. So, I think that's definitely what we're going to see here.
Yeah, it should be really interesting. And again, when you have, three Division I level players for Long Island, and you've got a guy like Knox from Tampa Catholic, who's really look the part of a top 15 sophomore last night. Should be really interesting. Minute to play here in the fourth quarter. Nice block there by Hornecker, but we got a block on the floor, it looks like. So we got maybe some contact before the shot. Both teams in the bonus. It's interesting to see if it's going to be a one-on-one or it's going to be 2 shots out of it. Okay, so Tavon Pointer's going to step in. 2 shots coming for him. Need a towel here. It looks like we got some perspiration on the floor.
Yes.
Right? It's been known to happen.
From time to time.
So, I mean, as we get into the last minute of this game, Coach, how would you categorize this game in terms of like overall style and outcome?
I mean, I think that we kind of saw a situation here where Jonesboro has fought to get back into the ball game and just doesn't quite have enough. I mean, it's just when it comes right down to it, they just don't have enough good outside shooting is what it really boils down to, because with Hornecker in there in the middle, he's really discouraged a lot of drives. I mean, they've still driven some to the basket, but you can tell they haven't kind of found that in-between spot like we talked about a lot with Greenville in the previous game.
Good point.
Greenville found a lot of those kind of openings, those in-between areas where they could really exploit. And Jonesboro just hasn't been able to find that in this game. And part of that is the excellent transition defense. I mean, just over and over and over again. the transition defense of Amarillo, and that's one of the things that would make me think that whichever team they end up playing tomorrow night, whether it's Long Island Lutheran or Tampa Catholic, they're going to have a chance because, A, they execute extremely well. They have a dude who is a shot maker, and they're going to be able to discourage some of those drives to the rim.
And shot creator on top of that. I mean, all the way top. That's a fantastic assessment. It's exactly what I was fishing for right there. So, well done. But the reality is I think you hit on a couple of really solid points there in terms of the lack of outside shooting that Jonesboro has come in with. And it's not to say that that's that way for them every night, but again, it's just been the case, and the complete and utter lack of transition baskets.
Yeah.
I would be interested to find out statistically what Jonesboro averages on a night-to-night basis in terms of not only how many points they average score, but how many of those buckets come in transition, because they just haven't seemed to be very comfortable at all in the half court. Again, part of that's a testament to Amarillo's defense, but I think a lot of it is just that they're used to getting up and down without that ability.
And their game last night when they played Knox Catholic, it was a pretty up and down game.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a high scoring game. Both teams kind of struggled to score, but both teams wanted to get up and down.
Right.
Whereas tonight, and a lot of times you think, well, a team that doesn't want to get up and down like Amarillo, they're going to struggle against a team that can really get up and down. But they're so good in transition defense that that's not the case.
Just something of note there. Housen was getting ready to plant the head up court right there, and his feet came out from underneath him. He's struggling a little bit on one of his ankles.
Don't want to see that.
Don't want to see that. And it was nobody around him. It was just something like a little bit of wetness on the floor or something of that nature.
Get that man some ice.
Yeah, he seems to be okay.
Yeah.
I think it surprised him more than anything else. So he's limping a little bit as we get to the end of this thing, but we want to make sure that he's at
we
full
get
strength
Kelly
tomorrow.
Flannery and those guys involved. Make sure he's good and well, because we definitely want to see him tomorrow in this semifinal game.
So, final here with our second to last ball game of the evening. Amarillo in full control of that game really from the beginning. 56-43 over Jonesboro. Impressive performance by the Sandies. By the way, Coach, do we know what a Sandy is?
No.
Maybe we'll work on that.
We'll do a little Googling right here.
As we get ready for tomorrow. So anyway, it was just one of those thoughts that popped into my mind as we were working on through.
I mean, I personally like a pecan sandy.
Oh yeah.
That's a tasty cookie.
Oh, yeah.
But
I just have a feeling that we're going to learn something about these guys through that little bit of a process there. So, 56-43 Amarillo over Jonesboro. We've got about a 10-minute break here in between ball games. Probably the highlight of the night is, even though we've had good games all night long, highlight of the night here with Long Island Lutheran coming up against Tampa Catholic. Should be interesting to see exactly how all of that plays out. Right? This is a highly anticipated game. Our nightcap with all types of Division I talent on the floor, and we'll see exactly with especially Long Island Lutheran what they bring to the table as an entire group. We saw quite a bit from Tampa Catholic last night when they went up against East Hamilton, but we'll get a full assessment, I think, of the Long Island Crusaders this evening. Maybe we got a pretty good feel. I felt by the end of the night last night, I had a pretty good idea what Tampa Catholic was going to bring to the table. So I'm highly anticipating what's about to happen here. So we're going to step aside here for about 10 minutes while these teams warm up and we go through starting lineups. Once this game is ready to tip off, Coach Tiller and I will be back, and we will take you through this action to finish up night three
of the
38th annual Arby's Classic.